First of all, what I would say is, that we always knew this was going to be an unpopular decision, and we have thought long and hard about it. We did before making the decision. Ultimately, our objective has been and continues to be to improve the squad overall, and we felt at the end of the day that doing this particular deal to sell Jason allowed us to take the funds generated and the wages saved and reinvest into the center half position and a couple of other positions to strengthen us overall. Unfortunately, the timing hasn't been such that we can show the inbound simultaneously, and so we're taking our lumps right now, and we take that on the chin, and we hope that people will feel better when the full body of the transfer window is done. There's 9 weeks to go. Of course, the season doesn't start for 6 weeks, and we continue to work on reshaping the squad as a whole.
How much did you sell Jason Shackell for?
Well, with Burnley, we've agreed as an undisclosed fee. I think there's been a lot of debate in terms of the reported figure and whether, if that's accurate, if that was high enough. Ultimately, we've made a judgment that it's a good deal for us at this time in order for us to take the fees generated and the wages saved and to reinvest them across the squad. So we've made a judgment on that, and we are confident that we'll be able to strengthen the squad, including his position and other positions.
If it is £1.1 million, as has been the fee reported, it's not a great deal of money when you consider you've probably got to get in a striker, you've certainly got to get in a replacement for Jason Shackell, and of course you're without Sean Barker next season as well. Paul Green is gone, Steve Davis is set to go. There are some big shoes to fill and not a great deal of money to play with.
Well, there's a lot of players you've named there, Colin. Ultimately, we feel very good about the squad we're putting together. However, now we need to strengthen at the center half position to replace Jason. We've identified the center forward position. Steve Davis, by the way, is still with us, and we'd also like to strengthen at left back. In the case of Paul Green, we all know that he's moved on. However, having said that, we're not sure Paul would have gotten into the side consistently with the emergence of Craig Bryson and Jeff Hendrick. We're very strong there, and Michael Jacobs, who's just come in, would have taken the wide right or the wide left position. So again, it's still a work in progress. We're not done. We recognize that this is an unpopular decision. He played every game for us, and he was a popular player with the fans, so it was always going to be tough. But we hope fans will judge us in 6 weeks when the season starts and in 9 weeks when the window is open.
Tough for the fans though when you said only a few weeks ago that Jason Shackell, you expected him to be part of the first team next season and you wouldn't sell him for a pittance. I'm paraphrasing, but £1.1 million. Could you have held out for more because there was interest from other clubs?
Well, clearly that's speculation. We certainly did say that. The bids came up, and we've done a deal, and we've made a judgment to do that deal and to take those funds and to reinvest that across the squad. And so that's what we've done. And unfortunately, we don't have that center half replacement in on the same day, and that would have been a perfect world scenario. We are continuing to pursue and feel very confident in our ability to make the replacements and the improvements in other positions, but we're not ready to close and announce those just yet, and we hope to do it in the near future.
What about those fans who've asked for refunds on season tickets? I think there were 14 fans. I think that number has increased since.
Yeah, Colin, we have 30 season ticket holders who've requested and are receiving a refund, and we completely respect their decision, and we certainly hope that those 30 fans will choose to come back in the summer as the season's starting when they see the full body of the work in the window. But ultimately, that's up to them. We understand how important Derby County is to them, and a big part of their lives that it plays, and we want them to know that we're working very hard to continue to be successful. We expect to improve again on last year's performance. It may be difficult for people to see how that's going to happen right now, but that is what we're working on, and we're confident that we'll do it.
How much of the Jason Shackell fee will you plough back into the squad? All of it?
All of it.
Every single penny?
Yes, sir.
What about loan signings?
Well, that certainly could be a part of it. We used fewer loans last year than we had done the previous year. I think that continues to be our inclination. However, if there is the right player who's available on loan instead of a permanent transfer, we will certainly consider making that part of our squad.
Connor Salmon was a player who you've been linked with over the last 24 hours. Is he somebody you'd like to bring in?
Oh, I think we've been very clear over the last year and a half of our interest in Connor. He's not our player. He is one of a number of center forwards that we continue to look at very closely and track. So we'll just have to see. It wouldn't be appropriate for me to be too specific on Connor because he's not our player.
Kelvin Mellor from Crewe as well. It looks like he's going to stay at Crewe, but again, was he a player that you were looking to bring in as cover in that left back position?
Well, rather than comment on specific players, we've been linked to a number of players at center half, left back, center forward, and I'm sure will continue to be. Those are the three key positions that we're working on right now. That's where we expect and know we want to need to improve. And we will continue to work hard until we get closed on the right targets, and then we'll announce them as soon as we do.
I know when you signed Sean Barker, there was a lot of fuss, if want of a better word at the time, about a Sean Barker type fee that you were prepared to spend 12 months ago. Do you envisage the same situation again this summer? Do you envisage signings coming in for £1 million plus at least?
Well, it's difficult to say. What we do want to do is we want to get better. I think the good news is that because we've made this sale, there are some funds that we're working with, both in fees and wages, that are set to get reinvested across the squad. So it remains to be seen how much on any one given player. What we do want to do is we want to improve overall, and at center forward in particular, we need now to backfill at center half, and we'd like to do something at left back.
Do you envisage the squad being complete by the start of the season?
I certainly hope so, but that being said, there may be some good deals to be done in late August. With the season starting on the 18th, there's still a couple weeks left to go of the transfer window, and there may be some good business to be done by those who wait. So we'll just have to see.
I know some supporters, particularly since the Jason Shackell sale, have said Derby lack ambition. What would you say to those supporters who accuse the club of that?
Well, I think ambition sometimes gets defined simply on financial terms, and we've been very clear that we're working to a budget. We want a club that can sustain itself. We're working hard on generating revenues, and we do expect to be competing. We think we owe it to the supporters to deliver a healthy, self-sustaining club that is also competitive. And doing the two simultaneously can be difficult, but we've been very clear that that's the direction we want to take things, and that will involve sometimes making tough choices like the one that we made last week on Jason Shackell. But there's certainly no lack of ambition, but we're determined to do it in a disciplined way. And financial fair play is coming, and we're getting ready for it immediately, and we don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it is important that the supporters know that we do want to win.
What about if an offer comes in from another club for one of your youngsters who've come through the academy, played in the first team? Would you consider any offers for those youngsters?
Well, I mean, if you're trying to link to any specific players in our squad right now or players in our academy, we know we have a lot of talent there. We're building around young players, so it would be wrong to speculate on that or to say yes or no to that question. We have some very bright young talent that we expect to be playing in our first team this year and making a contribution, and we know that there are clubs all over the country who know exactly who they are and are watching them, and that's no surprise to us.